Good evening. I basically want to go over something I did a video of a couple of weeks ago, which is the living hell of alcohol addiction, to be honest with you. And I'm going to give you a brief story of how I started again after being off for many years. I stopped drinking around 2006 after many relapses on and off prior to that. And I thought I'm going to give it a big go here. So I had this diazepam a few times in the past. I'd be able to get off the drink and stay sober for sort of shorter periods, 6 months, year, 18 months, that sort of thing. But I always went back on it. Something just wasn't a spark. I just sort of have a drink, I'll try a drink again. And I just like the taste of it. And the brain convinced me that I could control it, and obviously I couldn't. Anyway, I had 8 years alcohol free from 2006 2014. Really fit, healthy, on holiday a lot. I had a fantastic relationship with my daughter. Used to go away together, all this sort of thing. Brief relationship here and there, but mainly I was on my own and I was enjoying my life, looking after myself. And it was tickety boo. And then I was going to the gym a couple of times a day, actually. Well, once to the gym in the morning, then the leisure club at night. It sort of took my focus off drinking. That was my hobby, really, the gym and the leisure club. Because I used to be in the pub all the time. It was like a pub without the alcohol, healthy pub even. So that was my life, the leisure club holidays, really good. And I started a new relationship 2014, and at the time, as is now, there's a stigma to people who don't drink, and everyone assumes you're an alcoholic, and I was, obviously. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing this. So I managed to wing it for a while by saying I keep fit, this, that, and the other. I don't want to drink and drive. And then one evening we were at someone's house and there was a spare room, so I couldn't get away with the drink and drive thing. They said, "Oh, just stay here." And I think I had 2 cans of beer, and I didn't enjoy it. I was actually frightened to drink, so I didn't drink again for another few weeks. Then went away on holiday, and I thought, well, I've had a couple of drinks, maybe just try it again. And it sort of built up, really. After 8 years off, it built up very quickly. So after about a month of just having the odd kind of lager, that's all I ever drank. I didn't drink any spirits or wine or anything. After about a couple of months, I started to feel a bit groggy earlier in the day. So I thought, well, I'll have a bit of a livener. The liveness sort of went from sort of midday to 11 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock in the morning. So I was getting back to square one, really. 6 months later, I was back to square one, -10. Because every time you go off and get yourself sober and come back and start again, it's worse. You become more ill every single time. So by the end of 2014, I was in a total mess. Relationship ended, and I was on my own again. I tried to get some help from the doctors via this diazepam. They refused to give it to me because basically NHS had changed their policy on it. They said people get addicted. They said, well, surely I can't be addicted if I haven't had any for 8 years. Anyway, moving on from there, I was sort of self-medicated with alcohol, and I knew I was going downhill pretty quick. That was 2015. I just drank to keep myself going, really. Did that for a year or two, 2017. And I was getting by. I certainly wasn't going away anywhere, traveling anywhere. I was just sort of getting by day to day, I suppose. And then by about 2018, I started feeling a little bit under the weather. A lot of colds, flus, that sort of thing. And then I was still drinking every day at the local pub, taxis, this sort of thing, and not eating properly, obviously. It came to early 2019, and I was going to a couple of functions. I felt terrible, really, really ill, really ill. And eventually I got to October 2019. Somebody said, you must get yourself to the hospital because I was looking terrible. I asked a couple of people, how do I look? And they said, to be honest with you, you look really, really, really bad. I put a lot of weight on, but it wasn't beer belly. It was a ascites fluid, which is a protein the liver can't process. So I got 999 blue lighted, as it were, to the Royal Victoria Infirmary, which is an emergency hospital in Newcastle. And I got taken to the acute medical ward. and I sort of had this liver issue, and they put me on this this drip, a venous drip of some sort of antibiotic because I had spontaneous bacterial peritonitis. So with the ascites, which is the fluid, and this spontaneous bacterial peritonitis, the two of them, basically 50% of people hospitalised with that will never come out again. So that was a bit nip and tuck, to say the least. I got over that. About 2 weeks later, I was discharged with a view to going to the Freeman Hospital in Newcastle, which is a liver specialist hospital. I went back there in November, and the fluid was still building up in my abdomen. This ascites fluid. It's worth having a look on Google to get a bit more information about it. I can go into it, but it's a bit long-winded on here. But I'm going to bring out an ebook which explains more. So that's very problematic, this ascites. It can cause kidney failure. All sorts of things can go wrong because of this alcohol. And bear in mind, again, I never drank spirits or wines, always lager. Not in mass quantities sometimes, just because I've never had a day off, you see, and the liver never gets a breather, never gets a break from it. So in November, the doctor said, I'm going to do this drain again, get rid of this fluid. It's quite urgent, but your sodium level is really low, but I'll still do it. And sodium, maybe, obviously that's salt, isn't it? I didn't understand the implications of sodium on the liver. He did the drain, and I felt really, really groggy after. He said, oh, it's just because we're taking so much fluid off, you feel rough. But I ended up having a seizure in hospital, and woke up in intensive care with a surgeon, two surgeons actually, put a huge needle down through here, right through, about 80 inches long, to try and get the sodium level up, because it dropped from what the normalised sodium is about 135. It'd gone down to 118, which is critical level where you verging on going to a coma. Got over that, kept in a couple more weeks, spent Christmas 2019. All this has happened between October and Christmas of 2019. There's a lot going on. I spent with my parents. I couldn't look after myself. I was partly in a wheelchair, at times using a stair lift, all this sort of thing, to get around. So weak. The dangers of alcohol are just incredible. I know this sounds a bit grim, this, but people have got to know about this. Then we got into the new year 2020, January, end of January. I had more ascites fluid. I didn't think I was going to make it to the hospital. That took 3 lots of drains off me, different amounts of this fluid, 46 litres, all in all, which is, a litre is equivalent to a kilogram in weight. A litre of fluid is a kilogram in weight. Can you imagine how much weight that is? Anyway, I did that, and then went back to see the consultant again in March, still terribly weak. I was starting to eat a little bit, but nothing in the area what I should be eating. Lost a lot of weight. I'm 6'3", I think. Went down about 9.5 stone. You imagine what it was like. March, they decided to put something, or do something with the liver, a little procedure trying to open the portal vein. And now they should have alleviated the ascites, because as I said before, the ascites causes kidney failure. They did that, but it didn't work properly. But it didn't work on me anyway. So basically, after that, I also had this hernia. So the hernia was about the size of a tennis ball, and it's basically your belly button expands with the fluid. The fluid's got to go somewhere, and it came out of the belly button. It becomes like a big sort of, like a water-filled balloon, as it were. The skin's very thin, and that split one day, and it basically nearly bled to death. I was in the back of the ambulance with an explosive bandage on. He radioed ahead to the hospital. The surgery team were in resus. I'd never been into resus, other than when I've been on duty as a policeman, taking patients in, but not as a patient myself. So the surgeon was there with this surgical kit, and he said, basically, we're going to try and stitch you up, and if this doesn't work, there's not much else we can do. So I was in such a panic then that you let the doctors take over, don't you? There's no time for any anaesthetic. So they did that, and it actually worked. The stitch worked, and so I stayed in hospital for a few weeks after that. Then I got transferred to another hospital, and they managed to cut away this umbilical hernia, stitch me up again, which was fabulous. So I thought, well, I had this thing in the liver, had the hernia repaired, it would be fine. However, the fluid still built up. So everyone was scratching their heads, really. But this bright young doctor said, why don't we have to do this liver procedure again and balloon this little stent thing up a tiny amount and see if we can get rid of the ascites fluid. and actually got rid of the ascites flu and started to feel a little bit better. So that's going on to autumn 20. So I've been in the hospital, not the hospital, for about a year by now. Still wasn't getting much weight on me. I still was very weak in this sort of thing. So we're going to 2021, birthday, end of February 2021. Still feeling terrible. I remember the weekend very well because my daughter brought a dog up from Manchester. I managed to walk a little bit. First of all, actually probably walked for about a year and a half. And my dad, unfortunately, passed away in July 2021. I thought, I've got to get myself strong. So I managed to get myself to the doctors. But bear in mind, I was in a wheelchair a lot of the time. I couldn't walk. And they said, well, just push yourself every day to do a couple of steps. And I managed to get myself a little bit stronger and a bit stronger, just a bit stronger. So 2021 was a bit of a turning point for me. So by that time, really, I'd been in and out of the hospital environment for about 2 years. So I'm going to leave it there at about August 2021, and I'll continue possibly tomorrow with the rest of the deal. But I'm just trying to point out the dangers of this going forward. It's not the best of things, and if you do enjoy the channel, please subscribe, and I'll speak to you all soon.